going to go ahead and dive right in. So I'm going to turn it over to Rajoshi and Jilong for our first segment.
Jilong is the Senior Director of Engineering at Flexport. He's been there for almost 4 years, and he's been leading some of their AI initiatives. One of the products is what we're going to be diving into, their Insights Builder. For those of you unfamiliar, Flexport is a global logistics and supply chain platform, and they coordinate global logistics from the factory to the consumer's door. The Insights Builder is the product that we'll be diving into, so no spoilers there. We'll dive into it in just a little bit. But Jilong, would love for you to introduce yourself to our audience here.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rajas. Thanks for having me today. My name is Jilong. I'm the Senior Director of Engineering for Flexport. I've been here for almost 4 years, and I'm leading the pretty much focus on the operation technology teams in China, like the forwarding application, like a warehouse management system, and also covering some AI initiatives, like One Step Builder is one of them. And also I'm covering the data domains and the infra domains as well. Yeah, looking forward to this conversation.
Awesome. Thanks again for joining us. And maybe just to start off, would love for you to tell us a little bit about what is the Insights Builder product and how did it even start off? Like, was this something that was something your customers wanted, or was this part of the roadmap for a while? Just tell us a little bit about the product.
Yeah, sure. Honestly, this builder just started with a simple observation, right? Like in our daily business, we continuously having our customer to ask us about okay, where's my shipment, how's my transit time, over the past few months, and why my cost spikes, right, for the last quarter. So all those questions will involve wrangling several different dashboards and offline communication and typically we're going to involve our AMA teams to help our clients to prepare data, right? Then we thought, what if the process would be fitting, right? If we can just empower our user to just simply ask a question, like in a conversation, a natural language manner. So that led us to imagine an interface, right? That's Insight Builder, where users can type in the natural question, and the system gonna do all in the legwork, right? They can just fetch the right data, clean it up, and do the validation and generate summary. And in further, they can just show some charting, right? Like for user visibility kind of purpose. So yeah, I would say that's a very much a response to pain we saw on the ground, but also a chance that for us to proactively reimagine how analytics would work, like in the world powered by AI.
Got it. And around when did you start? When did you start building the product, and when was it shipped out to your customers?
We started our internal version back to last October-ish, yeah, October or November. And then after we internally aligned and approved, then we kicked off the whole development work, and we wrote our alpha phase to our alpha clients back to this February, should be end of February, yeah, along with our winter release.
Okay, that's a pretty impressive timeline. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. And for those of you watching, we do have a demo a little bit later, so we will get to kind of see this in action. But while Jilong and I were chatting, sort of for this conversation, one of the things that really struck out to me was, you mentioned having a really good data foundation that, you folks have maintained over the years. And I'd love to kind of hear about that. What was that data foundation like, and how did that help in sort of accelerating, your development of the Insights product?
Yeah, good question. So, for forwarding domain, also for supply chain especially, right? If you think about like higher overview of the whole industry, data is really the key to maintain a higher level of user experience. So what really makes Flexport differentiated from the other supply chain players adopting with the AI for data is that Flexport has already been accumulating data for quite a long time that has been already used to serve our clients like daily data analytics use cases. And so before Insight Builder to be brought to the table, Flexport clients have already been able to query their Flexport data, through the capability of reporting and analytics in Client App. Client App is an external-facing platform Flexport built to encompass like lots of different capabilities there, like the shipment visibility and manage their like a PO and manage their like end-to-end schedule, as also including the data, right? Like we have a reporting feature there already be used by like tons of different clients. So that's the data foundation for Insight Builder. That being said, like we are reusing whatever we have already built to solve our clients' data analytics requirement. So that's the key, like we have already set a very good foundation for us to move on. So the users that they can access a bunch of well-defined analytics right now to gain the insights in different domains, right? Like the volume and the transit time and the invoicing. So navigate through all their data through a complicated reporting system to customize their reporting. For offline users, it's kind of a require some expertise and knowledge. Like you have to be familiar with the system. You have to know like what kind of fields to be included in which report and what's the relationship between different domains. So we already know, well, we have already collected quite a bit of feedbacks and also suggestions from our clients about, okay, how this kind of data navigation experience can be improved. So that really gives us a really, good, like a valuable kind of insights from our clients directly about like what could be the direction we can move towards for Insight Builder. So basically we know what data matter to clients, and we know what we need to do to receive the way they access the whole data, and to facilitate the process with AI, right? To basically deliver simply a question, ask like a experience like through the natural language. Yeah, that's like a way I say is the really critical to our success of Insight Builder. Yeah.
Got it. Who are typically the users of the platform? Your
Uh,
customers, like what are their profiles?
Yeah, for our platform, well, for app, that's the platform that we used to deliver quite a bit of a different capability to our clients, the whole like a Flexport forwarding clients. And
Right.
like we have the omni-channel business as well, right? What we are trying to do is like want to combine all those kind of different client profiles together to one single platform, right? With that combination, then all like different uh, types of clients, they can just benefit from all those kind of features and capabilities like in future.
Has the profile of the people who are using the platform changed after you've kind of introduced the AI-powered capabilities?
Um,
Because you said
I
they needed to be the familiar with the platform and the intricacies and like relationships between different data sources and things like that.
Yeah, I would say the client profile wise, not too much difference because like our platform has been there for quite a while.
Mm,
Our clients are really enjoying the features that we have already built to provide them, the visibility and the real time communication, as well as this kind of a signal like a view, right? Those kind of things. They really like it already. And but I think one difference that we have already been noticing is that with the Insight Builder delivery, so our clients are really, recognizing the, technology kind of advantage that a Flexport has over the other players, especially in AI uh, domain. Because we have already, well, for as what I mentioned earlier, right? Uh, for Flexport, we don't really have to, to do quite a bit of a marketing job to ask different clients to come into our platform to use our new product, because we already have the foundation there. User already be on the
right.
platform. What we need to do is just ship the high quality product to them, to ask them to try out our new capability powered by AI, then proactively engage with our clients to provide feedbacks. Then we just bring those feedback into our next like iteration of the design builder. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And how do you kind of gauge success and adoption of this product? Like, are you folks monitoring? Because, like you said, these are the same users. They've been using the features that you had even before the natural language capability, and now that you've introduced here, how do you folks measure sort of, success, this being a successful rollout, right? What are the metrics that your team is monitoring to see if, this was a good rollout or not?
Yeah. So just to give a quick overview about the whole product lifecycle, right? Like we have already
Yeah.
launched our Instant Builder, the first version Instant Builder back to this March, end of February, early of March. And what we are right now doing is to further, enhance our the system capability and experience to ensure that it's really digest our clients' feedbacks and to deliver some more even more exciting kind of feature to our clients to benefit their daily data analytics scenarios. And also we are targeting to put the Insight Builder to GA phase in this year's summer release. So what the focus area that we are trying to improve is more surrounding we need to have a better accuracy and a smarter conversation, as well as we want to build some agentic AI kind of features to really leverage the skills of LM to give our users some more benefit for the data analytics or a data insights gathering. Yeah. So back to your question, that what other major metric we are focusing on? That is more about the accuracy and the engagement, right? So accuracy wise, we have learned that trust takes a long time to build, right? If one bad answer can really seek the trust quickly, so we obsessed
Yeah.
over the reliability. So that
Right.
basically means on the live side, so we have some guardrails. For example, if there are some empty result arose, then the system is gonna automatically try to explore options to correct the result and share with the user about what's the potential reasons. And at the same time, then the system is gonna trigger real-time kind of a scoring. Then we have our QA folks offline to proactively check out those kind of low score cases and proactively to fix those root causes by the end teams and to hold the accuracy at a high bar, right? For offline evaluation wise, then we continue to collect authentic user questions to add them into the backend system, especially for our evaluation question bank, so that we can regularly run some evaluation jobs to keep driving the accuracy to a high level. And even further, then we will add those as a guardrail into our CI/CD pipeline to potentially block potential regressions. Yeah. And for
Got it.
engagement, we are actively working with our business team to bring more clients to give us feedbacks and to try out the new features, so that we can really keep the momentum and to make the system getting better as time goes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and we are on an episode of the reliability call, so this is actually a topic that is super interesting, and we'll dive in just a little bit, dive in a bit more, just in a little bit. One question that I had, which is related, which is that how, there's always new business rules, new sort of or rather business language phrases that is unique to Flexport, or maybe there's a new definition or a new data source that you need to bring in to your product. What is the process around keeping um, sort of this changing or new data in sync with the Insights Builder, so that you're always able to surface accurate, reliable answers for your customers?
Yeah. So that's a good question for sure. As the product got evolved, right? We are keeping onboarding different domains data onto Insight Builder, not only for external version but also for internal version. Because some data they are not suitable for external fixing, but they are definitely valuable for our internal teams. So we have two different kind of verticals for different user personas. And in foreign domains, some data are not exclusive to some certain domains. For example, Civil may have the invoiced amount data, right? But the custom domains may also have those data as well. So the trend that we have observed is that those kind of potential conflict, especially surrounding the semantic and definition in DDL, will potentially cause LLM to not able to differentiate like what exactly is the user intention, like what data I need to pull in to answer user's question, right? That's something we already like a like facing, and the team has been actually innovatively working on the solution to make this appearance be like a more like smooth. But first of all, the principle that we have been following is that we need to ensure that the data schema like onboarded to the platform are justified to avoid a conflict as much as possible, right? It does make sense for us to have two different domains, but they have a relatively semantic kind of similar data to be onboarded together at the same time in one single database. That's something we need to do at the very beginning to ensure we are on the same page across different domains. And also, second, we're going to give enough training data to help our LLM to understand the differences and the suitable kind of response. If there are indeed some conflicts happens, right? Like maybe they're like user, they pretty much we're going to ask some question in a really random manner, right? This make me just simply give some data,
Yeah.
right? Give some cost data, give some like translate data. So those kind of question need to be clarified. And once some like clarification be done, then the system is going to move ahead with some assumption. And that assumption need to be explicitly communicated with our clients to say, okay, I'm based on this assumption and to give you some data, right? Not feeling comfortable or you're going to finish something need to be exchanged, just tell me through a follow-up question. Yeah. So this kind of a manner is something we're really adopting to avoid like the potential conflict at the very beginning. And as time goes, this is definitely not something totally avoidable, right? Last but not least, we want to keep like collecting feedbacks from our internal folks and from our clients directly, so that we can just conduct like an evaluation and test as much as possible to ensure the solution are consistent and robust.
Got it. You mentioned sort of training the LLM. So is that kind of how you can keep, is that part of how you keep your system aware of the business terms? Are you folks doing some post-training work with an LLM?
Yeah, I would say we are
Or is it
trying
at the
both.
semantic layer kind of thing? Yeah. Is it like metadata or is it like training the LLM?
Yeah, we have quite a bit of a different approaches to, in general, we have two methods to measure our system reliability. One's the field sort kind of accuracy, right? The other one is the zero sort accuracy. For field sort means we're gonna have some training data be available. Then whenever the user asks a question, the system is gonna automatically to leverage our RAG and to pull in some data directly from our backend, embedding model and to do the ranking and to tell LM this is something you can follow to try to answer user question. This is supported by some really well-defined kind of training data mechanism built by team. And the other one is the zero sort kind of accuracy. That basically means like we have no kind of reference or training data available. Then what's going to be the behavior for our system to answer the user question, right? We are trying both ways to improve the accuracy. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Um, and yeah, I think we touched upon touched upon the kinds of things you folks are looking at accuracy, and I think from what I hear, like that is sort of like in your metrics of evaluation, accuracy is like sort of like the top kind of metric that you folks are internally looking at. What do you have any examples over the last few months that this product has been rolled out where you've had to kind of go back and change the way you built something or or rethink the product based on maybe certain interesting I'm going to use the word interesting responses, right? Or changing definitions. Like, how have the last few months been, and like how? Tell us a little bit about that feedback loop of how you've built the system with the training data, or with the eval sets, and then a real world sort of use case that's had you've had to go back and change things.
Yeah, there's a lot. So just to give like two examples, right? Like one from the external client's point of view, and the other from the business teams. For the external ones, like we have been keeping talking with our clients directly for the past few months. We talk directly with our clients and the authentic user who are like willing to give us a feedback. Like for Flexport clients, like one of the privileges we have is that for those people, there are really some like visionary people who are willing to revolutionize their supply chain. That's why they choose Flexport as the go-to solution to help their supply chain. So those people are really, excited about AI. So they gave us a really valuable feedback about like how they feel about the AI inside Builder and what's potential improvement that we can target for the like future enhancements. So one example that we get from the clients is that they really want to have our system to behave as a the human assistant-like system. Basically means like they want to have the system be aware of, okay, I want to let, for example, if you were a user, right, you have some like a report somewhere, then the user want to say, okay, I want to get this report be regularly like alerted if some like abnormal case happen, right? Instead of like I proactively come into the platform to pull all those data. So I'm expecting your system to proactively do this for me instead of I come to the platform like to get it by myself. That's something we are really thinking is to be the direction we want to enhance in the future, right? So based on that, like we are revolutionizing our like a backend architecture to empower this kind of a future possibility that we eventually have the existing AI kind of capabilities to be delivered to our clients. This is something we're gonna see along the way in beta phase. Yeah, we have some like a really cool feature will be rolled to our clients. The second one is for our internal like teams ourselves. That so far, if I remember correctly, we have already undertaken 3 times of like a fundamental kind of architectural revolution, right? From last like in November, we have done like 3 times kind of fundamental kind of re-architecturing for the system. That's all based on like the feedback we get from both internal and external people, and to rethink our future, our product, and also the limitation we have observed based on the up to date kind of architecture. Um, that suffers, but like that's valuable. That's a really valuable investment for us to keep it, like reiterate our decision and to say what we can do to deliver a better experience for our clients. Like not only from the reliability perspective, but also from the security perspective and also the scalability perspective. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Are you
feel
able
like
to tell us a little bit about, are you able to tell us a little bit about what maybe one of those instances, like what was the kind of feedback and what is the kind of re-architecturing that you had to do?
Yeah, for example, in our previous architecture, right, like the system is not that like aware, the super aware about like the previous context data. For example, if you ask a question to get a table, right, those kind of table data are not like persistent to the context. So next time, if you ask a follow-up question, the system is gonna rerun the query to get those data and to render a chart, for example, if you want to realize it. That may cause some like a different discrepancy between these two. Because maybe like at the very beginning, the LLM gave you like a cycle in, for example, like with ABC columns, right? But for the like a second turn, this LLM will give you a few more, columns, or give you like a few less like columns. That will really cause like an inconsistency for the experience. So that basically the reason, one of the reasons why I want to ensure that the backend kind of we call it supervisor node need to be aware of the previous context and data, so that like if there are some follow-up questions, then we don't have to rerun the whole process to get the SQL again and to run the execution again. Instead of just simply get those data from the previous context and to render, for example, the chart like for the user.
Got it. Okay. Got it. And maybe this is a good time for us to, if you are willing to just share your screen and show us a little bit about the product and how somebody would use it. That'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Just to give a quick demo about like our
Yeah.
system. Let me see. Yeah, this is the landing page of the Inside Builder. Generally speaking, we have a pretty like a simple layout here. Like left panel will be some session history, and the main like area is the conversation, the chatbot areas. Wanted to notice that like because I'm logging as like a internet user, so the look and feel will be kind of different. But like this will be enough to showcase the general flow of the system. For example, if I want to have a pretty standard question be answered by the inside builder, I'm gonna say like show me the departed sequence in the past 6 months. Right. Yeah, then for the system, we are following an agentic kind of reasoning
Mm,
approach. So the system
mhm,
gonna break the task into several different steps and to plan the tasks. Um, yeah, as you can see, we have data be written back. For
mhm,
the sake of performance as well as the user experience, we only showing like at the most like 10 records at
mm,
the same time. But you can just choose to export the whole data to an offline like a
mm.
set file. It's something they can do. And we're gonna show some like a follow-up question. If you want to have further like a drill down, then you can just follow the guideline here to ask a different follow-up question.
And
Let's
this
see.
is what you meant earlier by saying that earlier it would sort of rerun the whole thing, and now you can sort of follow up and it sort of pulls from this information.
Yeah, basically we are break down the task to different steps and do reasoning, right? And once we have the data, have the SQL available, we're gonna do some validation to
Mm,
ensure that the SQL is valid one. Instead, like just to get whatever from LM to execute, that will very likely to cause some like errors out. And even further, if there are like an empty result, like we want to tell user why we think like there are empty result, what potentially could be the adjustment they can try to ensure they have data back. For me, I'm gonna just do a breakdown by transportation mode for each month and visualize it. Yeah, this is a follow-up question to the above
mm,
question. So supposedly the system is gonna return back a chart to visualize the breakdown by the condition here. So as you can see, right, we have this is a stacked column chart be written back to represent like different modes, like how many sequences
mm,
are there for each month, right? And yeah, so they can play around like they can export the whole image and they can full screen. And yeah, and they can even change the chart style. For example, change to
mm,
line chart instead. Yeah. So we support kind of a different like types of chart types, right? As you can see, like the chart is converted to like a
mm,
different chart style. So if user get those kind of data back and are ready to create some dashboard, they can simply click some button here. Then
mm,
they can simply to drag and drop the data they have pulled
mm,
out cameras on the right panel. And for example, they can also do something like this. And they can do some resizing and the layout,
mm.
or whatever they want to do. They want to do, and they can just go with a test dashboard and save. Then this is going to be a dashboard they can
Got
refer
it.
to like in interface.
Data.
Yeah,
And this keeps updated, like it's something that
yeah.
stays real
They
time,
keep
or is it a
updated.
snapshot in time?
They keep updated.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And this is also where, like you said, that if there is something ambiguous, then before it does the processing, it kind of asks the user for a clarification.
Yes, if there are indeed some case where the system feel is not clear enough for the system to move on, then the system is going to ask some clarification question.
Got it. Got it. And do you folks use like multiple LLMs under the hood, or you have a specific LLM that you use?
Yeah, personally, we are pretty much only use one single LM mode, but now we are trying to do different kinds of optimization. Some different models may have a different kind of advantages. So that's something we are doing to try to exploring like a different LM combination to ensure we have a better experience for different use cases.
Got it. And on the data side, where does all of the data live in one system, or are there multiple systems or multiple sort of databases, data sources that this is coming from?
Well, if you're speaking from the whole data life cycle perspective, then from the raw data, right? Raw data is owned by different services behind the scene.
Right.
Then all those kind of raw data, we're going to go through a pipeline to flow
Hmm.
into our data warehousing system. And the data warehouse system, we're going to have another layer to abstract all those natural data to analytics kind of a database. So that analytics database will going to be the one the system rely on to
Okay.
serve user questions. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. No, this is super helpful. It really helps kind of put a picture to what we've been speaking about. So thank you so much for sharing. I just have a couple more things that I wanted us to dive into. One sort of thing that we've been seeing as we interact with our customers at PromptQL is that with AI initiatives, the interaction between a business leader and a technical leader becomes so much more important than pre-AI products where it was pretty clear, right? Like you had a button, if you want a checkout button, everybody knows what a checkout button is supposed to mean, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with, a lot of the times with AI, you're building for users that you may not entirely empathize with. You're not in their job function, and everything is very new. And again, a natural language interface means people can ask anything. So at Flexport and with your customers, like how are you bringing sort of the domain experts and business leaders into the loop? How are they a part of the product and the product building experience? What's that like for you all?
Yeah, actually, this is one of my favorite part for this whole project. That our tech teams can just sit with our domain team leaders, expertise together to build a whole product like to our clients, right? For all those like different business teams like operation, demand teams, and the customs and the finance teams,
Hmm.
all give us a really, really valuable feedback at the very beginning of the Inside Builders like project. They tell us, okay, what are the like typical pain they have been like experienced in the past in terms of the data, analytics for their like clients, and we learn from them about like what's the fundamental kind of root causes. Is it purely just a data problem,
Mm.
or is it experiment problem? It's something like or is it something that we can really make some changes through the AI? Then we based on the feedback, then we narrow down to the area that we really feel we need to make some changes with AI. That's because the pattern we have been following for all the time, like along the way for Inside Builder. So we learn how they like talk about business, and we learn like what terms they use, like we learn
Mm.
what things are really getting their attention, like and are the bottlenecks for their daily scalability. So that's something we take it very seriously, and we bake all those kind of collaboration and feedback into our systems and into how we pass the questions, how we clarify the user intention, and how we mapping those kind of fields to the user question. Because like it's not solely based on our understanding about like how we're supposed
Mm.
to answer the question. It really based on the we really make our system behave like a human, right? If you want to
Mm.
behave like a human, then the very first kind of resource you can leverage on is the business team themselves.
Mm.
That how they typically interact with their clients on daily basis, right?
Right.
What are typical the challenges or like the mis communication that they encountered before, so that once we get all those data back in the system, we're gonna reevaluate them, and at
Mm.
the end of the day, then the AI has to be capable to continuously digesting all those kind of feedbacks and to make sure like their behavior really sounds like this
Mm.
is your data analytic assistant, not like
Right.
like a system-wise kind of a concept, right? We want
Yeah.
to build like a system like AI
Yeah.
system for analytics. Yeah, that's the only way,
Yeah.
to involve the people who are concerned about the user experience and to make some changes on behalf of them to empower their clients to have a better experience for data. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. We've been talking about this a lot in terms of like, finding your dance partner. That's the phrase we've been using. It's like there's a that pairing of a business leader and a tech leader is just so important, especially in these early days when, we're rolling out AI products, but the adoption is key. And without this partnership, adoption is just going to be something that really takes a hit. Um, my sort of I have two sort of tangential questions. One is, what's been the most surprising thing for you over the last few months of both building and rolling the software out in maybe a domain like logistics, or just in AI in terms of building this product? What is something that's been surprising to you? What you thought it would be different, and the experience has been different?
Yeah. Well, looking back the whole journey till now, then I really didn't expect that how much of this journey would become, to come down to understanding the people, just as what we talked about, like uh, earlier, right? Like it's not only about like
Right.
let's say it's about like, understanding the people, not just data. So you go into thinking, okay, it's not technical problem, right?
Mm,
Just simply like build a model or write some prompt to the output, everything we're gonna work. No, that's not the case, right? For logistics is really messy, right? It's really a scattered kind of an industry, and for edge cases, so the real challenge isn't just to get the AI to run. It's like
mm,
it's getting it to understand your business, to understand your data, and understand your users. That's the most like a surprising kind of thing for me till now, like for this kind of AI product. The That tells me I need empathy for the business, right? We need tight collaboration with the people in the trenches, and you really don't need a perfect foundation to start, right? Like you have
mm,
really good people who are really like a proficient in AI domain and a really good kind of experienced engineers to kick it off. You do need to like just kick it off, right? But you do need to start somewhere real and grounded in the
mm,
actual problem. That's where the
mm,
magic will begin. For my team, right, like we have zero kind of AI knowledge and experience back to the time when we decide to
mm,
do the app builder, right? But I'm really super proud about the achievement the team has already delivered so far. That's really something like treasure a lot. And also like for the teams like who are just want to start out their like AI product, I would say
mm.
don't wait for perfection. Just a start.
Right.
Just a start your
Right.
idea. Everything will
Yeah.
gonna make the way out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess, and my final question is, what is AI adoption like within Flexport? Like not your products, but like in terms of just AI that you all are using, like your team, maybe other teams across. How much AI is being used? What are you seeing in terms of just adoption within Flexport?
Yeah, I would say Flashpoint has been using AI for quite a long time, not just for LLM. We have been using like machine learning and enhanced learning for quite a long time. And
Mm,
actually, Inside Builder is just one of the examples that we externally announced that we leverage the LLM to power our user to do this kind of data analytics. But internally, we have quite a also like a system. They have already adopting AI in different domains, right? Spanning from like the visibility, like the shipment, like where the shipment, right? Like we have to make sure like we have a relatively accurate kind of estimation about like when your shipment will going to arrive at this port. And we have
mm,
our internal like forwarding application platform that we break down different tasks into different like we call it work item. You can think that as tasks need to be done by some operation people, and we are working on this kind of automation, right? This kind of automation we're going to be driven by different kind of mechanism like integration, as well as some like AI triggered kind of automation, either through like email parsing or like document digitization. All those kind of things we have been doing AI attempt, right? We have adopted AI for like also different like use cases, and also we have like a voice agent that's been like
mm,
developed by Convoy team that like whenever you want to have some like external communication, then we're going to have AI to automatically trigger a call to our trackers to communicate the businesses. I would say lots of different like omni-channel. They have a like
yeah.
a AI application as well that we are going to make sure like your inventory are never out of stock. Right, this is something that we announced like back to like a winter release of last year. So the adoption in Flexport is really amazing. I would say due to time constraint, I don't have time to go through every single aspect. But I would say like AI, we're gonna let the AI and then invest in AI in the area that really matter to Flex business and to Flexport clients. Yeah,
Awesome.
that has been the
No, that's
story.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and any favorite tools of yours, personal tools that you've been using, that you like, share with the world?
You mean the AI tool?
Yeah, just anything, not just like sport product, any particular tools that you like, that you use day to day that has
Oh,
you
yeah,
particularly like.
nowadays, I would say like the day-to-day AI tool I use is definitely the ChatGPT, right?
Okay.
That, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one I use the most. Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Jilong, if anyone has further questions, what is the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, if they have some offline questions, then feel free to shoot me, like either email or like you have my contacts. Then I think it's definitely good for them to like maybe you can just consolidate the question together. Then I can
Got
just
it.
figure out like some questions, then revert back. Then you can share with the audience. Right.
Perfect. No,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time today. This was absolutely great. It was great to learn a little bit about the kinds of stuff that you all are doing and the real world complexities that you're dealing with. Thanks again for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.